Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope more people will join in to look at how can you seize the opportunity of Instagram to market your destination and create visibility for the hotel's destination that we see over here. Before I begin my presentation, just a quick show of your hands. How many of you take a photo of perhaps the food that you have ordered, post it on social media, and then you start eating? How many of you do that? Yeah, okay. So we have this sort of an inclination, when we go to a hotel lobby, we take photographs first before we check into the room, right? So Instagram has become such a powerful tool today with about 1 billion users. And I'm going to show you some statistics first before we explore why this is today the king of social media, right? And so if we are not using the power of social media, then in a lot of ways, we are not going to be visible today in the world. If digitally you are not visible, then you are as good as not being even physically there, right? So we're going to be touching a little bit on that. This is a good photo on Instagram. The fact is, it may not look like this when you go there. But on Instagram, it's so beautiful that it's so appealing that you want to know where in the world this place is, right? That's already the foot in the door. Okay. So this is my area of work, and where does Instagram come in? I look at branding, marketing, positioning, and today in branding, marketing, positioning, you can sell them as much as you want. If you don't seize digital media, especially Instagram, then perhaps being here itself may not be all that important. What is Insta tourism? So Insta tourism is a word that is coined today. You may not find it in dictionaries. However, in conceptual papers or whether it is going to be on social media, you may find this word Insta tourism, right? It involves the use of Instagram, and you are trying to market your destination, promote awareness, as well as today look at conversion. Conversion in terms of getting people to immediately book it through your mobile platforms, all right? So Insta tourism is a new word today, and it is really internet's version of your brochure. So if you go to all those booths today and you're collecting brochures, but you don't have an Instagram account for your destination, then it's like you are not giving out your brochures, right? So this is a digital brochure. So I want to show you facts first, because if I don't show you facts, for the next 30 minutes, you're not going to believe me. Okay, so I have to do a buy-in first. And these facts are all taken from various sources. Huh? So there are multiple sources that I use. So Instagram today has 1 billion users. 1 billion is almost very close to slightly lesser than the population of India. Right? Now, the top 3 countries that use Instagram, do you see India there? Okay? So you're sitting in the smack of the number 2 destination when it comes to Instagram users. Okay? 60% log in at least once a day. That means to say that if you are actually posting a photo today, then it is very high chance that people are actually looking at your photos today, right now, right? Look at the age group. Who are the people who are watching your Instagram posts? It's the millennials. Why is this very important? Because the largest consumer market today in the world is the millennial. All right? In the next 20 to 30 years, the people who are going to buy your travel product are the millennials. I'm not a millennial, all right? And those of us who belong to my generation, we are not going to be the ones who are getting the attention. It is the millennial. How many of you are the millennials here? Okay, you are the ones who are going to get the attention of all the people in the travel industry. So if we don't understand the millennials and the very fact that they are actually booking on Instagram, then unfortunately, all the Generation X who are in every booth here, you'll be coming to the trade fair and doing everything that you're doing, and then you will notice that how come I'm not having my bookings? because you're not doing the right thing in targeting the millennials. So I feel sorry for those people who are in their booths doing what they have been doing for the last 20, 30 years and not understanding the power of social media, which is right here. Right? It's not that I'm doing my marketing, but you understand what I'm trying to say. 52% of the market, or 52% of the users who use Instagram, females. Those of you who attended my talk yesterday on the female travel market, I said to the audience that today 60% of the global traveler is a female. Men only make up 40% of the global travelers today. And it is going to increase from the 60% to a very high percentage of women who are going to be traveling. Google search showed an increase between 2018 to 2019. Google search showed female solo traveler Google 230% increase in Google search. Okay? So if you ignore the 52% of the females who are on Instagram and you're only talking to the males here, again, you're going to lose your opportunity. You should be talking to all the females because they are the ones who are got with the buying power. So a lot of people are doing marketing quite wrongly here. Over 500 million stories are posted daily. So you multiply it on 30 days and 365 days, you stop counting. Okay? And if your stories is not in that 500 million, even here today, if you can post your story of your destination, then somebody is going to watch it and create a viral experience. All right? So it's 500 million posts, and you have to do it really fast because it's going to disappear. 50 billion photos have been posted up to date. All right? So if your photo of your destination is not in the 50 billion, you can imagine what is going to happen to you. You are going to disappear from the choice of a consumer. 48%, let's say 50% of Instagram users find travel destination on Instagram and not in a travel show. See, I'm not discouraging you from being here. Okay? OTM, BTM, BLTM people will kill me if I do that, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is, do both, but make sure you don't ignore Instagram. All right? However, I see a lot of people focusing so much of attention over here, but ignoring the potential power of the Instagram. There are 25 billion brands in the world that are already on Instagram. Is Incredible India as a brand on Instagram? Is your brand on Instagram? Because out of the 100 brands we are talking about, 90% have visibility on Instagram. How many of your brands have got visibility on Instagram? In this audience, 60%. Statistically, it should be 90%. Where are the remaining people? In the booth. Okay. I've been in the travel trade for a very long time. I can't tell you how long, then you calculate my age. But enough to tell you that I have seen the power of trade shows going down. Conversion of trade shows is going down if you use that as a sole medium of marketing. Okay? I'm not saying that it's not good. Don't use that as a sole medium of marketing. Engagement brands on Instagram is 10 times higher than Facebook. 54 times more than Pinterest. Pinterest maybe is not so important for the travel trade. But 84 times higher than Twitter. So think very carefully how much you should do every day on Instagram, because it's the #1 engagement platform. 74% you are going to see will make their travel purchase on the Instagram very soon. Okay? So if you want immediate conversion, start to be a little bit more engaging on Instagram, and I'm going to tell you in a little while how to do it. okay? So you may have the power of a tool in your hand, but if you don't know how to use it, then it's good as not using it. Am I right? Okay, all right. So we need to know exactly how do we harness the power of social media, right? Today, you look at chefs globally. How many of you are hoteliers? So I'm glad to see some hoteliers here. If you speak to your chef will tell you that today, when they actually put a dish on the table in front of a customer, they think about the Instagram colors first. Previously, it is about whether it tastes nice on your taste bud. Today is whether it looks nice on the camera. Okay? So this is what today's chefs are trying to do, because if your restaurant and your food does not become viral, then people are not going to come to your restaurant, no, even though it could be one of the best restaurants. Yeah? So you need to use that. Hotel lobbies across the world, and I don't know how many of your lobbies are Instagrammable. Because the first thing that people do before they check in today is to take a photo, put it on Instagram, and say, I've checked in, I'm here. So before you check in into the room, your Facebook, your Instagram have been checked out. Yeah? So hotel lobbies have already started to ensure that it is Instagrammable. Okay? So go and look at many hotel lobbies in the world. I come from Singapore. We are noticing that more and more hotel lobbies, you know the moment you enter, it's an Instagrammable wall. Gym. How many of you go to the gym? Okay. This is so interesting. 3 women go to the gym and 1 man. I'm sure the 2 ladies force you to go now. I'm just kidding. All right. If you look at the gyms today, what they have discovered is that a gym must be Instagrammable. People take photos, put it on Instagram, then they lift a dumbbell. That's the power of Instagram for you, you know. It's not about building your muscles, you know, but being visible, right? So if gyms, lobbies, restaurants, food have all started to become Instagrammable, then you have to think very carefully about your destinations. How do we do the same thing as what these brands are doing? Right? Are we really doing that? If you are a travel planner, if you are a DMC sitting down here, are you ensuring that whether you are doing a corporate event or a wedding event or whatever event, has that become Instagrammable? Okay? It's not about taking pictures, but what pictures are you taking? It's not about your hashtag. What hashtags are you putting in? What captions are you putting? All right? Sometimes we don't have to create our own content. We use the content of followers. If you content create every day, you're going to be tired. One day you will give up. All right? So how do you make people do the work for you? That's really smart, intelligent content creation. Right? So Insta tourism has been made very easy for you. So you thank Instagram for that. Okay? So what Instagram has done for you is that it has allowed you to do booking today on the Instagram. Just click the link, reserve the button, see a photo, somebody else's photo, book your vacation. Everything is done today. So in such a way that Instagram is helping you, you have to help yourself. All right? Because they're already doing whatever they can to help us in this industry. So I'll talk about Insta stories in a little while. So what are destination boards doing? Whether it's Singapore Tourism Board that is doing it, a Bahamas Travel Board, or many of the travel industry tourism boards that are out here, what are they doing? One of the things is that they are directly putting it up on Instagram. Okay? So if you look at some of the tourism boards here and you can ask them, are you already on Instagram? Most of them are already on Instagram. Whether they do it properly or not, the second thing. Okay? But some of them are already visible. The second thing that tourism boards are trying to do is get content developers or people who are already on Instagram and putting up their photos, and they are trying to create some kind of visual distribution of their product. So that's the second thing that tourism boards are doing. Then you create your own content, or you put up on your website whatever galleries that you have, and you link it to your Instagram. So currently, this is what has been done, I would say, by 60 to 70% of the tourism boards already. But if you ask me whether they are intelligently doing it, I'll say no. Okay? They are doing it, but when you do something doesn't mean that you're intelligent about it. I think we all know that. Right? So are they intelligently doing it? So let me share with you what we mean by intelligently doing it. Because the moment you're intelligent about what you do, then the outcome is going to be enormous. Right? So let me just show you this. Norway Tourism Board, they actually did an Instagram and they put up these photographs. And these photographs actually brought in from 500 visitors to 40,000 visitors into Norway. Just photos like this. So you think about the power of the photo. You can talk for the last 2 days in this trade show. Umang, don't look at me like this, but I have to tell them the truth, right? You can talk for 2 days in OTM, and I can still tell you your figures will not go up from 500 to 40,000. Would you believe me when I tell you that? It will never go up. Only your throat will be wasting energy. Right? But I keep telling you, do both together. Okay? Iceland. This photograph, beautiful? Beautiful? It doesn't look like this, actually. But in photograph, it is so amazingly beautiful, and I'm so sure many of your destination is going to look as beautiful, if not better. But this photograph actually doubled the number of visitors between 2011 to 2015. Lake Wanaka. I've been there, I think it's nice, but maybe I can't take photographs like this. But this photograph brought a 14% increase in New Zealand's tourism, and that is the fastest growth ever in New Zealand. It's the tourism board I'm talking about. Fastest growth ever in New Zealand because of this photograph. Imagine what it can do for you. Can you get double your growth? Can you get your fastest tourism growth ever via Instagram? You should, because these are all formulas. So why? Let me ask this question. Why do you think Instagram is so powerful? Anybody? More so than Facebook? More so than brochures? Why is Facebook so powerful? If anybody can answer this, you'll have one-to-one consultation with me. Okay, it looks like nobody wants it. Why is Instagram very powerful? Number one, text. Text. You know text? Is out. Nobody reads today. Look at the millennials. You ask them, do they read? Millennials don't read. They are very audio and very visual in terms of pictures. Go around, I went around yesterday and I stopped going today because it's all brochures after brochures after brochures. It's tedious text that is out there. I love to read, but not like this. What they give me is an overdose. So today, text is out. Why is text out? Look at this. What does it say? It takes 13 milliseconds to see 12 photographs. But it takes an average American, well, American, sorry for the American folks, they're a bit slower than us, but American can read an average of 5 words per second. So which is faster? Seeing photos or reading words? Which is faster? Photos. If you multiply the million seconds by 2 seconds, then you can just imagine, right? We can see multiple photos faster than reading. So why are these guys giving brochures with so much of text? I don't understand, because we don't read. How many of you actually read your brochures? So tell me why. We are killing the world by cutting down paper and trees, and we're distributing in this trade show. And then when our baggage allowance hits the maximum, we throw it in the dustbin in the hotels. I do that. So I don't take brochures anymore. Sorry, I just want to show you something. Sorry, it just started going. I'm trying to go back. Yeah. I just want to show you some figures to tell you something. Yeah, okay. Secondly, people don't trust brochures, but people trust people. Okay? Because whether it's brochures or advertisement, they know that it is paid for. Okay? However, when you put on Instagram, it is a community of people who are not generally not paid. Okay? So people stop today using celebrity endorsements. So you will notice that more destinations, more hotels have already stopped using celebrities because people don't trust celebrities. Right? People trust other people on Instagram because you and me, we are like the girl next door, you know, and therefore we trust what is posted on Instagram. If you notice, 92% of people trust influencer marketing on Instagram, more so than paid advertisement. So how do you do it? I'll give you 10 points, okay? Very short, very quick. If you need a little bit more detail, you can approach me later. Number one, be different. Don't copy other people on Instagram. 500 billion posts, it's so easy to copy, okay? Be a bit more creative, be more original. There is something called, you know, the 20-80 rule. In all businesses, we use the 80-20 rule, okay? What does that 80-20 rule say? 80-20 rule say 20% of your posts should be about your product, okay? So if you have got Taj Mahal, put your Taj Mahal, but that's only 20%. What is 80%? 80% should be about the lifestyle, the romance, the exotic experience that you are getting in the area of Taj Mahal. So 80% should be about experience, only 20% should be about Taj Mahal. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? All right? So I'm giving you an example. My dear Bhutanese friends are there. I see a lot of photos of tiger's nest. Tiger's nest should be only be 20%. But what should that 80% be? When you go up to the tiger nest or when you go up to the Buddha point on Bhutan's landscape, you get a sense of peace, right? You can breathe. I mean, I've been in Delhi and I know how difficult it is to breathe, right? But you go to Bhutan, breathing comes naturally to you. And breath is God-given to each one of us. If you cannot breathe properly, what else do we want in the world? But when you go to Bhutan, you can breathe, and you breathe naturally. Now, your message, 80% should be on that. 20% should be on your Buddha point. Are you understanding that, yeah? So I'm going to give you an example. This is the example of Ministry of Bahamas. When they were voted in for an award, and their award was a #1 destination to see big animals like the dolphin, all right? Now, they could have put the award on their website, they could have put the award on their Instagram. They didn't do that. What's the point? Because we see awards every day, okay? There are probably 10 trophies in your house. What is so nice about looking at an award? We're not interested in that. What are we interested in? They actually showed a photograph of dolphins on their Instagram to show that they have won an award and the dolphins are celebrating it. Isn't this beautiful? Dolphins are celebrating it, okay? Not human beings are celebrating it. And I will tell you why dolphins are more appealing than human beings on Instagram. Animals are more appealing than human beings. Don't put your photo on Instagram. Put an animal's photo on Instagram, you have more likes. Number 2, be very flexible with your content. If you look at Instagram, it's got 3 things: feed, stories, and Instagram TV, all right? It's just different, no? When you actually put up a story in a video, it should not be more than 15 seconds. So how do you tell a story in 15 seconds? But on Instagram TV, it can be a bit longer. You can put 10 minutes, like a YouTube video, you know? But the story in 10 minutes is longer. You can tell a lot more in 10 minutes. You give me this talk in 5 minutes, I'll be different. But if you let me speak for 30 minutes, I'll be different. You give me a 2-day workshop, I'll be different. I'll tell different stories. It's the same on Instagram. You cannot tell your stories on video the same as the feed and the same as IGTV. Cannot. Your content has to be different. Okay? When you look at hashtags, now sometimes if you're not right brain, if you're left brain like me sometimes, it's very difficult to think of creative hashtags. Don't worry about it. You go to Google and you type in and say, the most popular travel hashtag. All right, and then you get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hashtags coming in front of you. Choose one, edit it, modify it. That's what Sony does, right? The Sony brand? They take idea, make it smaller, make it better. That's what you should do. Take ideas, make it smaller, make it better. Okay? So you don't have to wreck your brains all the time. It is available. Choose the right hashtags. I'll show you a little bit more on that. So be a bit more flexible, right? Get your brand. What is your brand really about? So one of the things that I do with tourism boards is understand, tell me more. What is your brand all about? If you're Bhutan, if you're Sri Lanka, if you are South Africa, tell me, what do you feel about being in your country? What comes naturally to you guys? If you are a hotel, what is so special about the feeling of being in there? Once you tell me, then we can do our hashtags. It becomes really easy if you do that. But if you don't know your product, if you don't know your experience, it's very difficult to do your hashtags, right? So something as simple as I love that. I love New York. I love New York hashtag has been around for more than 25 years. A very powerful hashtag, right? I mean, as a caption, it's very powerful. Okay? Choose your caption properly. Okay, look, I like this. Look at the first one. I need 6 months of vacation twice a year. So whole year is a vacation, right? So it just makes you feel like, oh my God, I want to go to this place because it's a vacation throughout the year. The world is a book. You want to read it together, So it just makes people curious, right? What are you trying to say? So they look at that. So it's the same. Use captions that is a little bit funny sometimes, thought-provoking at times, but it makes people wonder, what's this? It's something interesting. I should uncover it. Okay? Curate your content. So when you say curate your content, what do? Sometimes you have followers, okay? And sometimes your followers could be 1 million followers, could be 200,000 followers. Watch your followers' content, okay? Use those followers' content on your Instagram. Are you understanding what I'm saying? All right? Use them, link it to your Instagram so that whenever they post fresh photos, fresh captions, it will start showing on your Instagram account, all right? Now, of course, make sure you credit them. Don't steal somebody's intellectual property, okay? It is very famous in our part of the world that we just steal anybody's ideas. Don't do that, credit them. And I'll tell you why. When you credit them, it gives them a sense of recognition, and they'll be very happy to share more. But if you don't give them credit, not only will you be in trouble, nobody wants to share their photographs with you, all right? Photographers especially love it. Credit them, link them, make sure that you recognize them and get them to keep on contributing. This is an example. They already have 14.8 followers. So if you link that 40.8 followers to your Instagram, it's going to multiply the numbers. Are you understanding? Yeah? Try to do some kind of activity and some kind of engagement. What can you do? Tag photos to others. You can start doing contests. You can do some kind of competition, right? Now, when you start doing contests, people love it, especially the millennials, okay? Try doing any kind of contest. They're going to love it. They're going to jump into it because that's called engagement and it's called connection. So people will view it, but the moment you connect with them with a contest, they are going to love being on your Instagram. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay? Do a little bit more cracking of your head and think about what kind of competition, what kind of contest am I going to do? Look at this lady, right? She's just in front of Taj Mahal. Who looks at Taj Mahal? Maybe you look at her. Okay? I'm not saying anything about Taj Mahal. I love that place. But what I'm trying to tell you that in this Instagram photo, how many of you looked at Taj Mahal? You probably looked at her first. Yes? You all looked at her first. Then you looked at her red color sari because that's Instagram color. Put your Instagram color. People will look at that color first, right? This green, very good color. Okay? Mustard colors, very good color. Okay, nobody's wearing mustard here, so okay, mustard is a fantastic color for Instagram. So when she knows what she's doing, because the color that she's wearing is an Instagram color, all right? It takes that. And what she's trying to do is do all kinds of competition. So if you know any bride or groom, quickly tag that person. Make sure you tag. When you start tagging, her friends will tag you, right? So if she has 48,000 followers and you have her post on your Instagram, her followers will follow you. Are you following that? All right? So it is going to expand your Instagram followers after that. Okay? So try to look for people who are already really good and they have big followers. What is the subject? I was telling you. If you ever want to put Instagram, one of the hot photos, really good photos, is photos of the sky, either morning or evening. Okay? If you have a restaurant, take it near sunset. Okay? In the morning, when people wake up and they're dining on their own or lunching on their whatever it is. So try to show the skies. That's really one of the hot trending photographs. People like water. So today I was trying to post on OTM and my talk today, and I was using waterfall in Leela. I think Leela will be quite happy with that, right? Small waterfall, not natural waterfall. But I loved it. I loved the swimming pool, and I loved the waterfall. The next one I took is birds, a cage of birds, animals, okay? I didn't take any photograph of human being, including myself. Because we are not that exciting. We're not exciting, okay? On Instagram, I'm talking about. Next, photos of winter. Any one of you selling winter destinations? Ladakh, Simla, huh? Okay. Show photographs of mountain with ice. Bhutan. I always post pictures of Bhutan snow, ice cape, and people love it. They share my photos. So people love it. Try to put this kind of landscape. Architecture, of course, Taj Mahal is an architecture, but I just told you earlier, I'm comparing the women's red sari to Taj Mahal. Which one is more outstanding? Okay? Animals outrank people, right? Anything. You can take a monkey, you can take a dog. In fact, dog pictures trend better. Okay? We had a little otters in Singapore. They just came, just 2 otters, and it went viral. Right? They lost the way and they came to Singapore and it became viral. Right? And we were selling Singapore because of the otters. Okay? So animal pictures are very powerful. When I was in Mice Conclave, one of the events, and I saw that one hotel was actually marketing their whole hotel based on one kitten, cat. The cat is the signature animal of the hotel. So they were showing me the hotel's architecture, but when it came to that kitten, I was like, stop, I want to see this. It's so interesting, the cat's eyes and the way that the cat was moving around, that was amazing. So animals pictures, if you have your residential camel is very common. I've seen that in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, and they use that in their Instagram. I know they have residential managers, but in this hotel, they have residential camel. And that was exciting. So if you have animal pictures, put that up on Instagram. You can start using Insta stories. So if you know Instagram, Insta stories is piece together different Instagram photographs and create stories. Now, I don't have very much time to talk about storytelling, but today, destination storytelling is the in thing. If you can read up a little bit on that, storytelling in destination. Everything is about stories. Today, from the moment we were born up to now, we love listening to stories. Okay? Many of the brochures, unfortunately, they are not telling stories. They are telling facts. We've got enough of facts. We are interested in stories. I went around to every booth. Nobody told me a story about your hotel or your destination, unfortunately. So you become forgettable. But you tell me a story, I will remember you for a long time until I come and book at your hotel. That particular hotel that told me a story about a kitten, it was a real story. And I still remember, and I'm telling you today, after 18 months. Okay? So use stories, create your stories, curate your stories. Where do you get your stories from? Plenty. Your customers will tell you stories. If you ask me today about my Leela story, I'll tell you a lot. Since the moment I arrived in Delhi till now to Mumbai, I can tell you plenty of stories of Leela. Ask me stories about Sri Lanka. Ask me stories about Bhutan. I'll tell you lots of stories. And the only way I have sold destinations for many of you here is through my own stories. Put your stories on Instagram, all right? And curate it, and people will be diehard fans, and they will start to share. But make sure that your stories is not more than 15 seconds. Too long, you lose people. Okay, you become grandmother after that. Right? Even on Instagram, you can become grandmothers. Okay? Now, make sure, this is a trick. This is a trick I'm telling you. Listen carefully to this one. Make sure that your Instagram photos are consistent. Okay? Don't mix and match. Even in your clothes, you do a mix and match, you're not going to look nice. Okay? So your photographs must be consistent. What do I mean by that? Look at New Zealand. Okay? Do you see any, other than that, do you see any human being on the photos? No? Okay. Why? Because New Zealand is about, the logo of New Zealand, the guys are not here, I think, but New Zealand is called pure 100% New Zealand. Incredible India, pure 100% New Zealand. Purity. Unexplored. You don't see crowd. You see nature. You see tranquility. Do you feel that when you see this picture? Do you feel that way? Your photos must make you feel that way. So every photograph that New Zealand Tourism Board puts in, it is consistent with their message, is unexplored. It's not crowded. It's tranquil. Be consistent. Tourism Ireland. Tourism Ireland, those of you who have been to Ireland, you will know that Ireland is about nature, it's about greenery. So what do they use? They use the color of green. Okay? Why green? Because if you look at Ireland, the national color is green. Okay? So it's very important that whatever color you put, it must be consistent with the country's color. What is your country's color? India. You know what are your colors, right? Okay? So it's the same. If you look at Bhutan, the poppy is a purple. Okay? So you use that consistent color. Tourism Fiji. I'm not sure if anybody from Fiji is here, but Fiji is all about water, 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 blue, 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 blue. And they're very consistent. They keep blue as your consistent color. What is the color that you are going to be using for your hotel? What is the color you're going to be using for your country? I see Kenya out there. What are you going to use? It has to be consistent. You cannot mix it too much because consumer, I told you, has got 500 million photographs per day. They are going to get confused. And the last thing you want to do to your consumer is to confuse them because the world out there is crowded, overcrowded with information. Okay? And you're not the only one existing. So in a crowded world, make sure you stand up. Okay? Don't spam too much. Okay? Some people think give too much of information. At least they will remember. It's the same. Information overdose. Okay? How much should you post? At least one per week. Minimum. Otherwise, out of sight, out of mind. Okay? So some people do it enthusiastically. They start posting, and then after a while, they forget about it. They relax. And what will happen? People will think that you're no longer interested. You're going to fade out in the memory of people. Okay? So at least one post, if not a couple of posts per week. Now, my encouragement to all of you, look for people, use geotagging if you can. Find people who are posting about your hotel. Find people who are posting about your country. Okay? Now, today morning, I posted about Leela. If they are smart, they will start to geotag me, and then they will use my photos, my videos, and they will get my followers. Right? They should be clever to do that, right? So they didn't pay me, so I cannot consult them. But anyway, I did what I can because I love the property here. So Go and look for your followers, link it to your content, and borrow content from them or get content from them and credit them. Because some of the followers are very powerful, very, very powerful, and they're very happy, especially if you're a tourism board, to work with you, okay, without charging. Now, keep your content fresh, keep changing it, all right, and be consistent with your theme. I like this one. Have a look at Visit France, okay? What Visit France did is that they did not use or create their own content. They used a follower. And the follower has already got 964 likes, I think it's in the same day, okay? And through that, they have started using all his tags. They didn't create it themselves. They used somebody else's content and linked it to their own Instagram page. Are you understanding that? Okay. German Tourism Board. They actually had a feature Friday. Now, if you have a feature Sunday, feature Monday, whatever day, okay, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Think very carefully why is Friday, okay? But think about which day is very important to you and make sure that on that day you are getting people to post their content so that people will know, oh, if it is going to be, you know, feature Friday or meditation Monday or whatever it is, or whatever tags that you have, and they will remember, oh, today is the day that I should be posting for German Tourism Board. So be consistent. After a while, you get viral. Okay. Now, number 10, interact, interact, interact. The last thing you should do is put pictures and don't connect with people. Okay. People love it when you interact. So when I give this talk, well, I can just talk and just look at my slide. But it's a different thing if I were to talk to you. Okay. So if I interact with you, I talk to you, I converse with you, we have some form of interaction happening, then it will start to go viral. How do we do that? There are many ways to do that. When people post, you tell them thank you. Okay, so when I posted about Leela today, they should talk to me. They should say thank you. And then when I thank them back, then my followers will be reading. Okay, the more you talk, the more followers will start to follow you. Okay, engagement is engagement. It doesn't matter. All you want is engagement. Okay? The more engagement you get, the more visible you become on Instagram. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? It doesn't matter what engagement, just engage. If you got to thank them, thank them. If you got a photo and you say, lovely photo, do it. You know, come back again, put it down there. I see that you have actually had a good meal, put it down there. Whatever you say, just keep talking. Okay? Now, Instagram has what we call a bot, like a chat bot, a bot. And a bot is actually looking at all this, all right? And they're responding on your behalf also. Okay? All these are inbuilt. Go and speak to the tech guys. They'll probably tell you more about this. Now, they are also watching your interaction. So the more you interact, they will hop onto it and you get more engaged. That's the way you play around with Instagram. Okay? Now, if I want, I can, as a human body, do that as well. The more I talk to you, somebody who's your friend will end up coming in and I'll talk to them. And then we just add on. I can start connecting with everybody in this trade show if I really want to. Okay? So it's the same. On Instagram, it's really easy. Just get that happening. This is Visit Vancouver. Go and have a look at this. They are actually thanking everybody. So they said, thank you. Thanks a lot. Nice weather, whatever. Glad you like it. Thank you. Glad to be here, whatever it is. So it's just thank you is good enough to create engagement. Okay? But if you're really good at that, you could do a lot more. Okay? Now, keep your post relevant. What do I mean by that? If you're having winter today, don't post pictures of summer. It's crazy to do that. If you have jacaranda, purple flowers, and you're posting red roses, it's crazy to do that. Okay? Make sure that your photographs are relevant. What's the season that is going on there? What's popping up on the trees at the moment? What migratory birds are coming into you? What migratory animals are coming, right? Change your photographs relevant to the season. Then you don't look outdated. For example, if I were to wear the same clothes that my mom was wearing 30, 40 years ago, then I'm not going to be relevant today, right? It's changing. So you have to change according to the times and make sure that your posts are also relevant. Okay. Now, I want to end off by telling you that truly the sky is the limit. You know where this place is? Beautiful picture, right? Okay. Now, just looking at these people, look, oh my God, I want to be there. I want to be there, okay? So the sky is the limit in Instagram. Explore it. It's not about being on Instagram. It's how intelligent you are on Instagram. You can double the number of people who come on Instagram. You can double the number of people who instantly book on Instagram. But take the 10 points I was sharing with you, and you will drive traffic into your websites and into your hotels, okay? So I'm just going to end off with this. One last caution. I think each and every one of us, I'm so much into sustainability and responsible tourism. If we are putting pictures on Instagram, I think we have to be ethical about it. Don't put a photograph like this when actually it's like this. That's not fair, okay? Then you're not being nice to your people, and people will get disappointed. So don't show something which is really not there, okay? Now, sometimes if you look at it, this is the original. This will look like this. But the more Instagram photos you put, it will start becoming like this. That's the danger of very fragile environment. That's the danger of fragile communities. So for the sake of numbers, for the sake of profit, be very careful about what you are driving on Instagram as well. Okay? We have only one planet. We cannot kill it. Okay? We are the custodians of the next generation of people. So I'm very careful about what we post, and we have to be very careful about how we manage tourism. So there's a lot of people talking about it. Is Instagram ruining our travel industry? For me, it's not ruining our industry. It's not Instagram that is ruining the industry. It's we who are ruining the industry. So let's be responsible. I thank everybody over here. If you're interested to get my slides, I'm happy to share with everybody here. And if it benefits anybody, write to me, and I'm happy to share the slides with you. It'll probably be in a Dropbox or Google Drive. And if you want my insights on any of the things that we talked about today, I'm happy to share with it. On the last thing, I just want to say to all the women here and the men who support women, we've got a foundation or an organization called World Women Tourism. It is for the empowerment of women. It is for the women to come together, and as a tribe, we try to elevate the status of women, social and economically. So if anybody is interested, join our platform. I'll share information, training, webinars, etc., for the empowerment of women in our industry. So thank you very much. A pleasure being here.